So dear students, welcome to FA Medical Lectures. Today we will talk about the introduction part of the neurophysiology as well as neuroanatomy. This lecture will be effective for the subsequent lecture where I will deal the mainly tracts and then other parts of the other aspects of the neuroanatomy as well as the neurophysiology. So hope you will go through the detailed lecture. Okay. Um, like subsequent lecture I will be posting that will be on the tracts, ascending and descending tracts, and then other aspects of the neuroanatomy as well as the neurophysiology. So nervous system we will talk about today. So can you define what is nervous system, or can you say something about nervous system, some special point? Okay, there is no accessible, so you can comment down your answer. Okay, nervous system briefly, let's introduce it briefly. Nervous system in our body, there are multiple systems. Among them, the nervous system is the one that controls and regulates the other system, means functions of the functions of the other organ system, other structure of the body. This is the main aim or main function of the nervous system, meaning that this is the control system. Control system means if anything is going to control another thing, then what will happen there? Let's take an example. Let's suppose in your university or institute, there is used to be a executive body, and where multiple multiple authorities functions differently. Like there may be the director, coordinator, associate dean, vice chancellor, chancellor, registrar, etc. So these all these all authorities will, what will they do? If they want to bring any change, they collect the information. The information giver either maybe the students, staffs, as well as the visitors. So by collecting this information, what they will do, they will process the information, integrate the information, compare and contrast the information, and then what is the actual need, they execute the functions, or they make certain rules that to be applied in their, in that institutions or the university. Means their executive board is acting like a control system of that institution or the university. In the same way, if our nervous system is a control system of the body, especially the central nervous system, then what should be there? Information, first information throughout the body, from all over the body, should be carried to the central nervous system. Then central nervous system compare it, contrast it, integrate it, and then what the function to be performed will be sent by the central nervous system. So that information carrying pathway, then information carrying pathway towards the CNS will be the sensory system, and the response from the CNS that will be carried to the periphery or peripheral organs system, that will be the, that will carry through the motor nerve motor system. So same thing, let's I will first classify this nervous system basic structures what they comprises of, and I will here so two classification. First will be the based on the mainly the anatomical, and the next one will be the physiological according to the physiological aspect or function. So next we and next classification I will discuss in detail. Okay, nervous system. Nervous system broadly can be classified as the central nervous system, CNS, and the here will be the peripheral nervous system. And no doubt you know well that this central nervous system will include brain and spinal cord. Brain and spinal cord. Let's understand through a very rough figure. Let's suppose this is the brain, and the this brain will contain like cerebral cortex and other some nuclei, specialized nuclei like basal ganglia, in the same way lentiform nucleus, caudate nucleus, and some other parts it will include. And this will be then the cerebellum, cerebellum, then this will be midbrain, and this will be the pons, midbrain, pons, and this will be medulla oblongata. And this medulla oblongata, what medulla oblongata will be continued as the spinal cord. Spinal cord. What I am trying to show here is that being the control system, what happen is that first information should be carried to the CNS from the periphery. I am just marking this for only for understanding purpose. I am not showing here neuronal system. I will show it later. What happens? This CNS information will be carried into the central nervous system, and this pathway or this fiber will be called as the sensory nerves. Sensory nerves, and the processed information will be carried to the as a response to the periphery, and the desired action will be performed. And so this red mark will be the motor system, and the black mark is the sensory system. This is the basic function of the central nervous system. Now, okay, let's talk about the peripheral nervous system. Sorry, this peripheral nervous system, it can be further classified into the I am doing here anatomical classification, somatic nervous system, and there something called as the autonomic nervous system. This somatic nervous system will include 12 pairs of cranial nerve, 12 pairs of cranial nerve, and 31 pairs in case of the human, 31 pairs of the spinal nerve. Now, this autonomic nervous system broadly classified into the sympathetic nervous system as well as the parasympathetic nervous system. About this autonomic nervous system, I have talked in detail in the previous lecture. You can go and watch there. And some authorities also believe uh, subpart subdivision of this ANS will be the enteric nervous system. But my dear, this enteric nervous system is nothing but the specialized form of the autonomic nervous system that includes both sympathetic and parasympathetic component, and this will this will be located into the lower GI tract and regulate their visceral functions. So this is the first classification. Now I will move on to the next classification, which has more physiological values. So let's talk about the sensory or motor system. Means there will be sensory system, sensory system, and the another will be the motor system broadly. Motor system means since these are the sensory system, what will be its function? It will carry the sensation throughout the body, from throughout the body to the central nervous system. Okay, so um, I will be showing here same thing by green mark. Here what happens is that in the CNS, either brain or spinal cord, here information is carried, is brought. Now after comparing, contrasting and integrating the information, it will send the response as a motor system, which will be shown by the red mark as usual marking system. Now why I am saying that it will be contrast and compare, because once through from birth to the till death, what or how many informations are collected to the CNS, it also remain as a memory. So for that, the new information when come, either it may be the same information as the previous, or it may be the different. Brain what will do, or central nervous system what will do, it will compare from the memorized previous information, and what type of the response should be uh, given out, that will be decided here. So please don't get confused the word I am using now. So this sensory system, again I will talk about the sensory system. This sensory system again can be classified as the, here I will drop this part. This sensory system will be the sensation. What, how many types of the sensation are there? Can you answer please? Comment down. So sensations, either it may be general or it may be special, nothing else. So general sensations. So now question is that what is the general sensation and what is the special sensation? Answer please. General, oh, sorry, general sensations and the special sensations. How can you differentiate? Please answer in the comment box. Special sensations. this will be by exclusion method. So I will exclude first this special sensations, and the rest all sensations will be the general sensations. Now question is that how can you differentiate? So hope you have tried. Now special sensations are those sensations, first and foremost is that I have also talked about this in the cranial nerve nuclei, so you can watch from there too. First and foremost is that according to the previous classification, what I mentioned there, the somatic nervous system or the sensory system includes 12 pairs of the cranial nerve and the 31 pairs of the spinal nerves. Those sensations that are only carried by the cranial nerves are called the special sensations. It doesn't mean that like a special sense cranial nerve doesn't carry the general sensation or other sensations. No, but a specificity is that this sensation will be carried by only the cranial nerves. First distinguishing point. Second is that, which is very important, these special senses are those sensations that are perceived by the specialized type of the receptor through the specific organ or a specialized organ that we call as the sense organ. Like from the tongue, what we sense in the special sensation, taste, and in the tongue there are general sensations too, touch, pain, temperature also, but the special sensation is that the taste. And why this become special, my dear? Can you taste anything by finger, or can you taste anything by nose, or the other body part by foot? Please don't try. You will not get any taste from other parts of the body except the tongue. So tongue now, and I also used that there should be the specialized receptor. The specialized receptor is the like for the taste sensation there is the taste bud, and taste bud is not found anywhere else. So other organs cannot carry the taste sensation. In the same way, for the vision, there are rods and cones. The rods and cones are there in other part of the body? Are they present? No, they are only on the eye. So both receptor as well as the organ are specific, and that specific sensations is called the taste sensations. So this will include, I will not consume too much time, this will include like vision. In the same way, hearing. Hearing, under is the taste, next is the smell. Smell, and one more type is the equilibrium. Equilibrium. My dear, equilibrium, you know, is also maintained by the cerebellum. That is the other part of the body except the special sense, equilibrium, posture. In that, the equilibrium cannot be measured if the vestibular apparatus of the ear will be damaged. So this is also the special sense. Why? Again here two reason comes. First, it is carried by the cranial nerve, vestibulocochlear nerve, and under is the localized in the specialized organ, that is the ear, inner ear. So Vestibular cochlear nerve, cranial nerve 8. This will be carried by the cranial nerve 8. Cranial nerve 8. Please don't call it as the auditory nerve. Auditory nerve. Yes, you can call um, the students of below the plus 2, 10, 8, they can call the auditory nerve. It is not big mistake. But if you people, bachelor student, also the medical bachelor student will call cranial nerve 8 as the auditory nerve, this will be not so much appropriate. So please remember its name, vestibulocochlear nerve. And so means there are two parts, vestibular part and the cochlear part. Cochlear part especially carries the hearing sensations, and the cochlear vestibular part, vestibular apparatus will carry the sense of the equilibrium. So these all are the special sensations. Now I will talk about the general sensations, and excluding these special sensations, all the sensations from the body will be the general sensations. And among them, further these general sensations can be divided into the somatic sensations, somatic and another is the visual sensations. Visual sensations. Like in our body, mainly the derivatives are of two types. One is the somatic derivative and another is the visual derivative. So as name implies, somatic derivative, somatic sensation will be carrying the sensations from the somatic derivatives, and the visual sensation will be carried from the visual organs or visual organ system. So these somatic sensations, again we can divide it into the like this could be mechanoreceptive senses, thermoreceptive senses, and another is the pain. Pain. So let's talk about the first pain. Pain. Pain from the somatic derivatives is usually sharp, severe in nature, and any factors, any substance that stimulate the pain nerve fibers, pain nerve endings, that will lead to the sensation of the pain. Then there will be the sensations of the temperature. We also feel the like change in the temperature in the environment or in the object. This will include sensation of the change in the temperature, and will include sensation of the heat and cold. Heat and cold. Now excluding these two, all senses will fall under this mechanoreceptive senses. So mechanoreceptive senses, what here remain, that somatic derivatives, in somatic derivatives there are the skin, fascia, subcutaneous tissue, musculoskeletal system. These will all fall under the somatic derivatives. So from these derivatives we can feel pain, I have explained here. We can feel touch, pressure, sensation, itching, tickling, stereognosis by feeling or by grasping the object. What even with our closed eye, we can identify if our central nervous system is intact. We can identify the object like its shape, and by if we have seen this object earlier, then we can identify, oh, this is the marker and its shape is cylindrical. This is called the stereognosis. I will talk about these sensations in detail in the while dealing with the tract. Okay, now what I am trying to say here is that like these mechanoreceptive sensations will be either can be tactile sensations, tactile sensations, or it could be the proprioception. Pro proprioceptions. So these tactile sensations will include touch, pressure, tickling, itching, stereognosis, stereognosis, etc. Now, so now the point is, what is the proprioception? Proprioception, like musculoskeletal system, what is its function? Main the function of this musculoskeletal system is the movement or the locomotion. Like we ride, we walk, we run. All these are the locomotory function, and we do these functions with the help of the musculoskeletal system. So sensation from the locomotory system or musculoskeletal system will be the proprioceptions. This will again this will include like sense of position, sense of position. Broadly, it will be the sensation from the locomotory system. Then the sense of position, and position either of the locomotory system, position will be the either static or the dynamic. Dynamic, we also call it as the rate of movements. Like if the system are in dynamic phase, then what is the rate of movement? It is slow or fast, medium. There are the various ranges. So all these sensations will fall under the proprioception. Like proprioception, how much it is important? Like while we are running or while we are walking, then the sensation from this locomotive system is continuously being sent to the central nervous system, and central nervous system is controlling the movement, controlling the position. Like while we are walking, when one foot are on the ground, one other foot should be on the off the ground, so that it will maintain the balance or a smooth walking. Have it ever occurred like while you are running or you are walking and both foot get off the ground? If this happens, you will fall suddenly. But then why this is not happening? Why this is not happening? Because the sensation from the joints, ligament, tendon, muscles, how are they are stressed or the compressed, all sensation is continuously being carried to the central nervous system, and central nervous system regulating these functions. So these are the proprioceptions. So now the visual sensations. Now visual sensations, can you give the examples of the visual sensations? Like we earlier mentioned that visual sensations are the sensation from the visual derivatives or the internal organs. So what happens is that in the internal organs, most of the time we are not aware of the sensations. Like in these somatic sensation, we are aware of these sensations, but visual sensations, most of the time we are not aware of these sensations. Like there are continuously in the GI tract there is movement occurring, peristalsis occurring, secretion occurring, digesting, absorption, etc. occurring, liver is functioning, kidney is functioning, heart is functioning. At normal physiological condition, we do not uh, feel these sensations, but sometimes we also feel the peristalsis, like when it gets abdominal distension, we feel the abdominal fullness, etc. We feel these sensations, and sometimes uh, even the sharp pain. Generally, usually what happens is that pain from these organs is usually dull, slow, itching type, but sometimes pain becomes severe. For example, as I mentioned earlier, like when there will be the ischemic necrosis, or there will be the ischemia in these internal organs. Like for example, take an example of the myocardial infarction. Myocardial infarction, what happens is that there occurs by any means ischemia occur, and that ischemic damage or necrosis will elicit the severe pain. Even it is called as the anger enemy, means impending to the death. This most type of the sharp pain also we feel from these organs only at some pathological conditions, not during normal physiological conditions. Or we feel normal at normal physiological condition, like normal movement. Sometimes we feel, we are aware of our heart beating sometimes when sympathetic nervous system gets activated. So these are the normal, but we feel these at some extent or very uh, less sharp, very less defined, very less discriminately, like the unlike the somatic sensations. And in the GI tract, like when there ischemia occurs, either due to the strangulation or by any other means, there will be the severe pain. We feel the severe pain. So these are the normal condition. Now the question will arise now, like we are aware of these sensations and the visual sensations, most of the time we are not aware of why this happens. Question goes to you. Okay, so this happens because, dear friend, the sensations or sensation that we feel only that sensations we which reach to the cerebral, up to the cerebral cortex, that is the highest center in the central nervous system. Of that sensations we are aware of, or we feel that sensations that reach to the cerebral cortex, or the subconscious level sensations um, at subconscious level. Why remain at subconscious level? Because the sensations, their sensations will only be carried to the, like lower system, lower central nervous system, like the hypothalamus, brainstem, uh, etc. These mainly these sensations, like sensations from the GI tract will be carried through the autonomic nervous system. I have talked about that in detail. Like these sensations generally reach to the lower system or subcortical level, brainstem, hypothalamus, etc. So that we are not most of the time aware of these sensation or these movements or these internal functions. Okay, so when as I mentioned earlier, like during the ischemia, sharp pain occurs. Why? Because at that time the sensation is so strong that it can reach up to the cerebral cortex, and we became aware of that sensations. So this is the difference. Now, okay, after this, all these sensations we talked about, when sensations is carried to the central nervous system will be deliver will deliver some types of the response if needed. Then sensations response will be in the form of the motor system. So response will be of two type. One will be the voluntary response, and another will be the involuntary response. Okay, let's understand it. Like voluntary response, those response which are under our control, or willingly we can we can regulate, or we can control this type of the movement, are called the voluntary response. Like I have to write here some word. So how fast it occur? First I will decide, and then decision will be sent to the cortex through various pathway, will be sent to the cortex, and cortex send the motor response, and I will move my hand, and there are various manipulation or the integration will be occurring there. I will talk about these in later lectures. Now, so or we are moving like musculoskeletal system, uh, movement of the musculoskeletal system is under our control. So these are the voluntary response, and some types of the response which are not in our control, like when you see the delicious food or some spicy food, or when you see um, the acidic food, then what happens? Salivation spontaneously will occur. Or eat when we eat, then the digestion, secretion of the GI tract will spontaneously occur if our condition is the physiologically normal. Can we control them? No. Can we say like, oh, I have eaten today, GI tract do not digest these things today, please keep it reserved for next week? Can I say it? No. It will occur on its own. So these are not in our control. So these will be the involuntary response. Like for example, when we see something horrible, our sympathetic system will be activated, and the heart rate will increase, and other sympathetic firing will be occurring there. So are they under our control? No, they are occurring their own. So these are the involuntary response. In the same way, let's suppose you are sitting with your girlfriend, or with your wife, or with your husband, or with your boyfriend, and some beautiful lady passes across you, or handsome boy passes across you, and your heartbeat rises if you have interest in her or him. So are they in your control, under your control? No, you cannot control that. In the same way, when you see a girl or boy whom you have crush on, your heartbeat will rise or increase. Can you control that? No. In the same way, okay, now let's talk about some serious thing, like what happens is that blood pressure is being continuously maintained under the in the normal physiological range. And how this happens, like there are baroreceptors and chemoreceptors, like aortic bodies, aortic sinus, carotid bodies, carotid sinus. Bodies are the chemoreceptors and the sinuses are the baroreceptors. So these receptors will send the signal to the central nervous system, and central nervous system will control their function. Are we aware of the normal physiological condition? Are we aware of the our blood pressure? That oh, blood pressure is rising or falling. Are we aware? No. Are we aware of the heartbeat? Our heartbeat? No. Except like when you or when someone is hypertensive or excess sympathetic firing is occurring there. At that condition, you may feel like blood pressure is high, or its consequences, like if intracranial pressure rises, you will feel the headache. In the same way, when your sympathetic nervous system is so much activated, you will feel the heartbeat. So these are not occurring in the normal circumstances. We are not aware of these type of sensations as I mentioned here. Here only there is the derangement in the physiological systems or the exaggerated or the decreased functions. So in brief, voluntary response is that we that response we can control by our will, and the involuntary response is the response that we cannot control by our will. So these all about I talked, these are about the sensations, sensory system I have talked. Now on subsequent lectures I will deal in detail pathways, ascending pathway, that will be the sensory system, and the descending pathway, that will be the descending tract, that will be the motor system. So hope you enjoyed the lecture. Thank you for watching.